الحضور الكريم، الآن مع جلسة حوارية يشارك فيها السيد هاريش لوتليكر من مؤسسة SuperWorld، والسيد وائل سالوم من شركة كاريم، والسيد محمد حسونة من شركة طلبات، ويديرها السيد توم أوركهارت من مؤسسة دبي للإعلام. Ladies and gentlemen, the next panel session hosting Hrish Lotlikar from SuperWorld, Wael Salloum from Careem, and Muhammed Atef Hassouna from Talabat, moderated by Tom Urquhart from Dubai Media Incorporated, will start now. Please remain seated.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome one and all to the Dubai Assembly for Generative AI. Thanks so much indeed for your patience. Thanks for sticking with us here at the stunning Museum of the Future. So, future is going to be the key of this conversation here with some rock stars of the future alongside me, looking to the future. Or is it the now? A question we'll be asking over the course of the next, 20, 25 minutes or so. Asking just how agile companies like these companies alongside me and yours are leveraging generative AI right here and right now. Not just enterprise and government, as we've heard already this morning, and over the course of the last few days, are using generative AI. Tech startups. I always feel a bit nervous about using the word startup. They were startups, but they're now very well established, that's for sure. Their own initiatives and enterprises here. Are using generative AI to augment the everyday, augment agile business models, go-to-market strategies and products. They're using a number of different tools to do that: metaverse, blockchain, e-commerce, consumer apps, whatever it might be, all of it adopting generative AI in their tech stacks and taking it forward, radically changing the value chains, if you like, and the all-important relationship with not just vendors, the money, but also customers and further foremost. So, get ready for what we want to be a bit of a deep dive. We are going to dive in together, okay, into the transformative tides that we find ourselves in here. Is it all smooth sailing, or is it a little bit of stormy waters? Well, we'll find out. Three brilliant panelists from all corners of the globe with us here today. Three hugely successful startups being recognized. Starting with the man at the end of the line there. Co-founder and CEO also of the US-based SuperWorld. Virtual world mapped onto the real world, allowing users to create, to discover, and to monetize content in augmented reality. Hrish, I hope I did that justice. Ladies and gentlemen, hands together for Hrish Lotlikar. Also joining us today, we have the brains behind, or certainly the machine learning brains, algorithm brains as well, because he is the Senior Director of Machine Learning, Algorithms and AI at Talabat. You don't need me to explain to you what Talabat do, the leading online food delivery service operating across the region as a whole, connecting you with your favorite food. Spend less, order more. Little plug there for Talabat. Big thanks to Muhammed, Atef, Hassouna. And of course, the man alongside me, my wingman here, alongside me, Vice President of Data and AI at small little startup you might have heard called Careem. Yeah, I'm sure you have. I was in one a matter of minutes ago. We'll be a little later on. The Everything app has become exactly that, everything for the region and further afield, making it easier than ever to move around, order food, groceries, manage payments. Everything, basically. Ladies and gentlemen, Vice President of Data and AI is Wael Salloum. Wael, thanks very much indeed for joining us. So, those are the pleasantries aside. Now we get down to the nitty-gritty, because it's opportunity now for us to talk about the now, if we can. Well, I'm going to start with you, if I may. We're here to talk about Gen AI, not so much in the sort of the distant future, but more the now. Yeah, okay, the potential moving forward. But we want to talk about the now. So, to your point, at Careem, how has generative AI created opportunities for Careem right now, right here, today?
Well, first of all, thank you guys for inviting me and having me here. It's a true honor to be here, and thank you, Tom, and other panelists. I'm looking forward to a very engaging conversation. Careem is actually very bullish on the potential of generative AI. We recognize a lot of the hype, right? We know that there's a lot there, but we actually believe it's going to be fairly transformative. We generally do believe that in the next 5 to 10 years, supervised learning will remain the highest value AI, but generative AI actually will be transformative in sort of the way we engage it because it allows a lot more people to engage with it. So we're approaching it from four levers. First is we're trying to do the things we're already doing better. And we have a number of initiatives there, particularly within search and discovery, where we're trying to build into more embedding and contextual search. Also as well as for our pricing and routing and ETA estimations. Secondly, we are using it to improve our company's productivity, particularly developers' productivity. This is a very key aspect of generative AI. Those are external tools through either GitHub or Copilot or ChatGPT, where we're leveraging and we're sort of hoping our engineers can do better. What we have seen already is significant improvement on the things that engineers often forget to do, such as quality, testing, documentation, often things that they will push around. So we have not necessarily seen them get much faster, but it seems that the quality work to get significantly better, which over time will lead to much faster evolution and innovation. The third thing that we're trying to do is leverage generative AI to improve everyone else's productivity. Here we are often worried about leakage of data and stuff, so we're currently investigating that, so we haven't quite rolled that out yet. But eventually, because we already know that some people are copying out their code and writing feedback or peer reviews, we can actually see very clearly some people are like, this is a very ChatGPT peer recommendation that came through. So we're trying to work through and figure out how we can enable everyone. And there, generative AI has huge potentials in helping people actually do their job better. And then finally is new and innovative endpoints for the customer to be engaging. This is where everyone gets excited about. And there, ultimately, we realize that if we simply leverage LLMs and ChatGPT, it will be just like changing a window covering of Careem. What we need to really do is build our infrastructure better so that ChatGPT can, or other generative AIs can actually learn from our infrastructure and start actually building better and more knowledgeable endpoints and engagements. So whether we can start predicting why you're coming to Careem and giving you a better experience, or in fact actually have a whole new way of engaging with Careem, we have some ideas there. As well as ideally with that infrastructure, allowing us to keep pace of evolution, because we do believe that the rate of innovation is going to accelerate. So rather than trying to build for now, we're trying to see, well, what's the rate of innovation in a year's time, and we want to make sure we're ready to catch that wave.
Muhammed, same sort of question to you, but replacing the word Careem with the word Talabat as well. What are you using now?
Yeah, thank you, Tom. I think best introduction to the panel in the event yet. Thank you for that. And thank you for having us, everyone.
I'll retire.
I'll agree with Wael here. Generative AI is very, very hyped. It feels like it's something new, although it has been around for a while, just that OpenAI opened Pandora's box and put AI in the hands of everyone around 10 or 11 months ago. But we tend to believe that it's not about something new that you might need to look at. It's being reminded by something true. And by something true, we come back to our foundations and our values at Talabat. One of our values is actually experience first. So there's nothing more true than actual customer needs and how we can enable and enhance the customer experience. So we look at it in two different ways. What are the customer experiences that we can enhance today? And in what ways will the customers, what new ways will the customers interact? So this conversational commerce has been around for maybe a decade. It came out, then it died out again. We're exploring this very closely. We're looking into it. And if you think about it, it's not really an AI revolution that's happening right now. It's really a UX revolution. It's all about how will the user experience change now that we have this technology, now that they have this in everybody's hands. So yeah, I think although it is new and it is something that we're experimenting with, and there's a lot of opportunities that we see. So in terms of actual opportunities at Talabat, these large language models being very good at language. So we look internally, what do we have? In Talabat, what we have, there's a lot of text that comes from the restaurant's menus, the grocery descriptions, a lot of images. And of course, GenAI is really good at understanding and enhancing and creating images. So there's a lot of richness to explore here. And it's all along the customer journey. It's from the onboarding phase to the search and recommendations. And actually, some of the experts are saying that the new state of the art for recommendations will be coming from large language models like technology. So that's very exciting to see, and we're experimenting often with that. And then all the way to the journey where you post-order, how you're interacting with customer support. It's a huge field that can be revamped altogether, and it's very exciting to enable that. And then the rest of the journey as you see it.
And Hrish, all of us are global citizens. This man over here is a true global citizen, though. He's thrown in especially for it. Give us the SuperWorld perspective on this one as well. Where are we at right now? We know that there are countless opportunities out there, but in terms of your business?
Sure. So SuperWorld is a virtual world. It covers Earth. We're in it right now. It's all around us. You can create, discover, and monetize anything, anywhere. And we divided Earth into 64 billion virtual properties, 0.01, 0.01 longitude, latitude. So you could buy this location in Dubai, you could buy any place in the world. You could buy New York City, London, Paris, and as an owner of these digital assets, you're able to benefit from monetization, digital commerce, e-commerce, advertising, gaming, DeFi. So as I've described that, there's three categories of users that we have in SuperWorld. There are creators that want to create content, maybe they're business owners, maybe they're influencers. There's property owners, so those that understand the idea of owning places in the world so they can benefit from all the monetization. And there's businesses that are advertising and publishing content so people could learn about them. So we have three areas that generative AI is very useful now. Number one, content creation. We've created a world where you can create anything around you. So generative AI contributes to content creation of all sorts, being able to talk and create objects right in front of you, being able to personalize an avatar that can talk about and pitch your business and place that avatar anywhere in the world, and being able to also have user insights into what your customers want to hear from you. And then on the business side, advertising that's very customized to your audiences, visualizing your products so you could see products and create products that can be visualized, either real estate, physical real estate that you can go into, or being able to interact with your products in a very compelling way, as well as user insights as well, understanding what your users want in data. And then on the virtual real estate side, which is that third category of our users, people who own virtual real estate in real-world locations, we can help them with property development so they can talk and create places and landscapes that people can see. Maybe it's in terms of monetization strategies, as well as in asset management, being able to manage their virtual real estate around the world and properly trade and buy properties in real-world locations. So those are the three ways, and we've partnered with Numbers Protocol to bring authenticity to assets that are created from generative AI. We're utilizing Instill AI in that. We're also built on Google and Apple's platforms, as well as Oculus. So we're bringing in a lot of technologies from a lot of places to enable these types of products to be built.
Perfect. I think you get there from the three comments there. That there's no one up here on this panel that's not going to disagree that there is huge potential growth. There is huge potential when it comes to Gen AI. But let's do the buts now as well, because I want to get a few examples, if we can, with the time remaining. And I'm going to start at the top and start with you, Hrish, if we can, moving back. Have you changed your business model at all moving forward? Are you evolving your business model because of that potential? So,
we have always been about three technologies: immersive technology, the ability to create, Web3, the ability to authenticate information or digital assets, and number three, AI. So, again, as my esteemed colleagues have said, AI has been around for a long time.
Yeah.
I think that the rapid evolution of AI in the last couple of years with foundational models and LLMs have really created an opportunity for us to now very quickly, back to UX and UI, start integrating this into that user experience. And so, yes, I would say that we have realized that, as these technologies have evolved, all three of them, right? Immersive tech is evolving, Web3 has been evolving, AI has really taken hold very quickly. And so we have definitely started integrating these technologies into that user experience.
Muhammed, to that point though as well, with things evolving so quickly as they are at present, if you're cooking a policy to put into your business model moving forward, and yet things are moving so quickly, how do you do that? How do you plan that effectively, especially with with a company like Talabat, where you are so finger on the pulse all the time?
Yeah, great question. I think it's definitely a balance between our existing businesses and services that are out there that we have to continue to evolve and grow and everything, but also keeping a tab on what's new, what's going on out there, and actually go out there and test. So our principles still remain the same, which is encourage experimentation, encourage failing fast. Actually, one of my team members has his amazing quote that we use in our team meetings: failing fast, failing often, and failing forward, so that we can continue to learn. And we find that the learnings we get from those failures are much more valuable than anything else. So in terms of the business itself, I believe every business has to reinvent itself with the existence of AI. We hear AI as a co-pilot, AI as a complementary. We definitely believe in that. We believe that every individual, every professional, every organization or entity has to reinvent itself and discover what does it mean that AI is now a co-pilot. And also not to forget to learn more about AI to be able to treat it as that, because AI is not perfect. There is a lot of issues that we've been talking about these 2 days in terms of reliability and bias and trust and privacy and all of that. So learning more about how we augment AI itself with what it lacks, this is very important.
And well, to your point as well, I mean, Careem equals everything. If generative AI is contributing to the everything, how do you keep everyone happy? I'm talking stakeholders, I'm talking vendors, I'm talking customers, I'm talking team as well.
Yeah, I really like the quote I heard from Muhammed. So look, generative AI, I think, is going to be transformational, right? But is it going to actually change our business model, or are we going to keep everyone happy? Probably not, right? Careem's business model, I think, we already went through a massive transformation. We are going back to the SuperWorld. We are doing chapter 3. We're really focusing on that future. And what we're trying to do is leverage generative AI in support of the user's experience and in support of encouraging a transformation of culture and productivity. How do we keep everyone happy? Well, I mean, one of the nice things about what we're doing is, I said, I don't want to reveal too much what we're planning. It's one of our biggest bets. And if it works,
go on. It's fine. No one
will leak this.
No one will tell us.
Right. But we as I alluded to earlier, right? We actually believe that generative AI, for us to fully realize the potential, we have to change our underlying data infrastructure to be ready for that next generation to unlock the productivity. If we get that right, then what will happen is our speed of innovation will accelerate dramatically. We will be able to keep the stakeholders happy and the shareholders happy and the company happy. The team will be excited because they're literally building innovative technology. They'll learn to fail very fast. We get very fast signals. And our customers and users will be happy because we are building for them. And ultimately, when the Careem's values is every experience matters, and what we ultimately want to do is really make sure that we simplify the life of all our users, and we use that to unlock everyone's potential.
I'm going to stick with you very quickly and then work my way back up the line as well, because one thing I want to get is sort of regional perspective, and then, of course, taking it further afield. We heard from the Minister yesterday about the need for regulation here. Regulation is going to be prioritised, etc. Is that on your wish list at the moment? Is that going to help moving things forward?
Do I believe that we need regulation? Yes. I've in my past roles, I've dealt a lot with regulators, and I've seen both the pros and cons. And I think regulation, particularly around the use of it, you just heard from the previous panel about the application of AI and a large part about the data. I mean, ultimately, in the end, AI is only as good as the data it gets, and data applications, and we have to have a lot of regulations around that. One thing that we should be worried about regulation, it will actually work in our favor. It won't work in the favor of ecosystem. If we over-regulate, we will stifle the rise of other startups and companies. As it is, one of the things that generative AI, as I said, we're building infrastructure, that we're realizing is the more data we have, the more we're able to leverage the potential and launch. New startups will have very little data, and we put a high bar of regulation on top of them, they'll never be able to compete with us. That works great for Careem and Talabat and all the other established companies. It won't work well for the ecosystem. And I came here, and Careem, I know, one of his values is to build for the region, and grow region. And I think we would want to see a thriving ecosystem and a healthy competitive environment where everyone grows together.
And to that point, Muhammed, your thought on talent, because another pillar that was mentioned yesterday was talent, the retention of talent here, the attraction of talent into the region as well, and of course the growing of future talent as well through organisations like Dubai Future Foundation. How are we doing that effectively at the moment, or from a Talabat perspective, how do you bring in world-class talent in this field here?
Yeah, first I think important to recognize the existing talent that we have in the region, and be humble enough that yes, we can benefit a lot from benefiting from bringing talent from abroad. One of our values also at Talabat is together we grow, and together we grow, it basically means that we believe in growing our existing talent, and that ideas will come from within. And we actually believe in also internship programs, things as practical as that. In terms of talent acquisition, I think we have one of the best teams that I ever worked with, and they've helped us build one of the best teams in the region. But yeah, I think definitely growing more talent, especially when it comes to young talent, because this new disruptive technology requires new ideas, and these new ideas will come most from the youngest generation.
I mean, Hrish, you've worked in some of the hotspots of talent around the world. Name it, he's been there, that's for sure. I'm not going to ask you for the talent thing, because I think the very fact you're here speaking at this event means that you love what's going on here in the region. What I will ask you, though, is am I allowed to mention the ethics word? Responsibility. Responsibility. Are we using generative AI effectively at the moment when it comes to responsibility, when it comes to effectiveness, or are we just scratching the surface? And that's something we need to be cautious of.
Yeah, I think that there is definitely going to be some transformative effects of generative AI in society, and I think we need to make sure that we're taking into account things like privacy, in data that's being used in these models, understanding of user rights and protections, integrity for protection for licensing for creators, and I think that's coming, but I think it's definitely something that we have to take a look at, because as we all in society are going to become creators, because some of this, some of the effects of AI is it's causing all of us to look at other ways to add value in society, because there's a lot of roles that now AI will take care of. And so as we all become creators or publishers or enablers of this, I think that we definitely need to make sure that the processes in place are responsible, because it's becoming more and more important. And that's where the blockchain and the Web3 aspect of what's happening and what we're doing at SuperWorld really adds to that integrity and provenance of the content that's being created.
Just to wrap up, what have we got? We've got 1:30, so about 30 seconds just to wrap up. We talked about the now. Let's finish with the future, if you like, as well. We tried to get out of Wael what he's got in the pipelines at the moment. We might get something out of him by the end of the session. But Hrish, just finish things up if you can in terms of SuperWorld and what's in the pipeline, what you're cooking up, and what could we see in the future?
Yeah, we're really excited about personalization.
Yeah.
So being able to utilize search to get to know the world around you. We're really excited about content creation, to be able to speak and create different types of content. Personalized avatars, visualization, as well as on the virtual real estate side, be able to provide analytics. So buyers and sellers of virtual real estate in SuperWorld can create strategies where they can acquire places and have a long-term idea of how those places are performing and what are ways to monetize those places. So those are all three areas that we're working on.
Good on you, Hrish. Great to have you with us here.
Thanks,
Muhammed, what's cooking at Talabat? See what I did there?
I love it. Imagine a world where you can order your favorite food or something to try new by speaking to an assistant. I'll leave it at that.
Look at that. Look at that. You've left us for the next episode as well. Tune in next week to find out what happens next. Bless you. Thanks so much indeed to you. And the final word, come on, if we all give him the slow clap, you might tell us what's coming next. What are you adding to the everything?
So I won't talk about the infrastructure again, because that's a big bet, but I will actually share a whole bunch of things. I'll give a call out to the region. We actually tried to use the Falcons LLM that was built in Abu Dhabi to help improve localization and Arabic support. Didn't quite work up to the bar we want to productionize, but we're trying out other things, but that's one thing. We're improving search and discovery. We're also improving personalization, as I mentioned. Also engagement with and prediction of how entry points of different user. Similarly, I suspect from what Muhammad said, we're also building something similar. We'll talk about it afterwards. But one of the things is what I would really love to do, especially within the grocery world, is build something that allows you to actually be your sort of personal assistant of the future, as well as for food and other things. We're also improving search discovery. We're also looking at ways of categorizing catalogs automatically, content generation. We actually currently have over 50 initiatives in play.
It's been a deep dive, but we've all survived. We're back on terra firma. I can't thank you enough for your patience. Listen, all these guys will be outside a little later on, so if you want to catch up with them, grab them by the collar and have a quick word. Thank you so much indeed, fellas. My voice has survived, and that's thanks to you and your expertise. So big thanks to Hrish, to Wael, and Muhammed. Thank you, gentlemen, for all being with us. Big round of applause.
Thank you, Tom.
Enjoy the rest of the assembly.